leaving part of Kyiv, when people were running away from what they feared would be, the target areas, when Nigerians were leaving. There was a video, in fact, there were several videos of citizens of Kyiv who were escaping the conflict. Ladies and gentlemen, they were all on the road. Every single one. The drone camera were spanned close to about 6 or 7 kilometers. They were all on the road. There was no Kunle coming out trying to go and cut off in front. There was no Emeka coming to go for the left and join them. There was no Ovoke who was trying to put his head in. None of that. Absolutely none. Yet this was a war crisis. Oh, there's no war crisis in Rumosi. Yet every day, every freaking day, you come out and be shouting, "Is the government? Is the government? Is the government?" They didn't do alternative roads. Yet people who were facing life or death scenarios who stayed in their cars on the line. They were moving as instructed. War. I said war.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
Hello, Bonhart. With Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
So join the conversation. Help me understand what is going on the roads in Port Harcourt, particularly these areas where the Ring Road project is affecting. 08179230003, 08179230007, 08179230003, 08179230007. At Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you'll find us on Facebook and on X. At Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. The question I ask once again: is it the narrowing of the road, the construction that is causing this traffic, or is it the behavior of the drivers that makes it this bad? Michael, speaking to us from Burkiri. Michael, good morning to you. Welcome to Hello Port Harcourt.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
First of all, I want to say the security officer cannot act as a spokesperson of the company. It's like putting a round peg in a square hole. I don't know when last the security officer now becomes the spokesperson of the company. But I clearly understood the message you were trying to pass. Now, Jude, I'm a driver. Most of us are very indisciplined on the road. It is not about how narrow the road is. It is about how you use that road. The road could be a one lane, but if cars are well packed, we can use that road. Though the time might
be longer, yes,
but it will be longer as being explained by those people you played in the skit. The truth is that we park carelessly. People go to Aba Road as wide as Aba Road. People park almost at the middle of the road to pick up passengers. And also want to caution passengers, but it takes two to tango.
Okay, fair enough.
It's not all about putting all the blame on some indisciplined drivers. Some passengers too are not patient enough to allow these cars to even park. Do you know that I'm a commercial driver? Do you know if a passenger tracks me down, if I want to clear properly, the passenger thinks it will take him or her time to come closer to my vehicle. Jude, you'll be surprised that as you are trying to clear off the road, the one that drove all our while, that is the one they would board. I'm telling you, Jude. But I'm not deterred by such attitude. I still try to back up the road, because if anything happens to my car, the passenger would definitely
will go away.
Will go away.
All right, thank you very much, Michael. Godwin, oh dear, that's a drop call. there from Godwin. This one here reads, hi Ju, good morning. I've been thinking about this for a few days now. I totally agree. It is not the road, it is the drivers. They make it very difficult to use. Is it just the drivers, or like my last caller said, even the passengers are to be held responsible? We'll be back after the break. Rumosi. Yes, there's a narrowing of the road. The same thing can be said for those of you who are going to be coming from mile 3, mile 1, and even town. Burglary access, get into the University of Port Harcourt. Maybe you're making your way out of Port Harcourt. Maybe you're going to Abua or you're going to Emowa this morning. There's a very strong chance that you are going to either pass one of these points, the Rumosi area just before the police station, or here, Rumosi Junction itself. Yes. And then you notice that road is being worked on, is being widened, some interesting structures. You see the trucks there, you see the containers there. There's a mighty drill on the road right there, particularly in Rumosi. You can't miss it. You can't miss it. But here's the problem. You see, the road has been narrowed. And there's usually some traffic build-up, as you pass. The question is it the road itself that is the major cause of the traffic? That's what to get your views, because yes, a good number of you are drivers, a good number of you, ply the route. Let's talk to Godwin. Godwin is speaking to us from GRA. Godwin, good morning to you, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I think what is happening in Port Harcourt is patience. Port Harcourt, but not patience in Port Harcourt. Anything, rule, other corporation, we do different towns. I think last week I went about this railway people that are constructing railway. In after police, precisely, I come across the back. Hold up from that railway side to this side, what they are calling MCP in Aba. And people are patiently moving gradually, no complaint, no nothing. But in Port Harcourt, small hold up, they'll be selling everywhere. And the whole top step they are calling because what the legislator is doing almost everywhere in Port Harcourt. That means you just after the work now and they are crying. And they work not fast. Everything everywhere because in LMA and NMPC they are working there. Inside Obibo they are working there. In Obibo Express they are working. In Igbo State they are working. In Neneka they are working. In what is it called? What is it called? They are working. And all of them are major going to airport. That means they will be calling all everywhere one day. They cannot be except them just get patient. That is the thing. And look at how long the road will last. So they will be.
Hello, Godwin.
That's my own contribution.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you very much. Zion is in GRA. Zion, good morning to you. Welcome to Hello Port Harcourt.
Yeah, good morning to you.
Good morning.
The number one problem is the construction company. They lack people with foresight. I don't care their names. They lack that department we call visibility studies and incident management. I challenge any company like that. If you have that department, come out. Visibility study and projection. You look at the behavioral pattern of the drivers in that vicinity, in that community, in that state, and in that society.
So let me ask you. So you doubt that these companies, right, that have operated for years, did not consider that, okay, we're going to be having these roads blocked for a while. The drivers may have to go through this, maybe alternative routes. Maybe we should do this. You are saying that they didn't do that?
They didn't do that.
Interesting.
They didn't do that. Before we now blame the drivers. In fact, do we even have drivers in Nigeria or in Port Harcourt? What is the percentage? People we have most on our road that put and move car. They don't know how to drive. They are not drivers. A lot of them are not drivers. Ask of their driver's license now, they will give you 15 naira. Talk later. Most of their driver's license have expired. Most of them didn't even go to driving school. What is the name of the school that taught them how to drive? And look at the safety that's supposed to go through all this. What do? They don't care. Just give us money, we'll print each driver's license for you. These are problems. Driving is an art. It's like a career. You must go through training. You must be educated enough to be behind the wheels or the steering. But what do we do? Because of corruption, we don't care. If you like that, you should go.
Zion, let me get you straight. I'm sure a lot of people are listening. They want to get your narrative here. You don't think the drivers are to blame as much as the company for the traffic situations?
The second blame is the drivers, which are just narrated now.
The question we're asking is which is more in responsibility? Which holds more responsibility? Is it the narrowing of the road or the driver?
On this particular case, you can't say the narrow of the road. Go to London. You hardly see dualized internal street roads in London. How many traffic jams do you see there? Their roads are so tiny, but they are so professional in their driving. They maintain a lane. They know where the tires should stop, where the tires should not go beyond that mark they keep on the street. But come to Port Harcourt, we are driving between the lines. They mark the traffic light. They are driving in between them. Is it not so?
All right, Zion. Thank you very much. Now, so you have the core of the matter before us. Now, through one line, obviously more vehicles, less space, maybe drivers. Once again, I gave the example that when the Russian-Ukraine conflict started about 713 days ago, people were escaping the conflict. They were in their vehicles in large numbers. Imagine close to 3 to 7 kilometers of cars just waiting to pass through the narrow exit out of the city. Yet they all stayed. There was no wow driving. There was nobody coming out to go and block somebody in front so I will enter. None of these things were present. None. And this was in a war scenario. Welcome.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
And now, hello, Port Harcourt, with Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
So 017-923-0007, 017-923-0002. All right, 070-0923-0923 also available. And Facebook and X, where we have our pages where you can follow us for all great conversations, available with the handle at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us. We're talking about traffic management at construction sites this morning. My question is this: is it the narrowing of the road or the behavior of the drivers that leads to these terrible traffic situations? Michael, speaking to us from Berkeley. Good morning to you, Michael.
Hello, Julia. Please, I'll be very brief. There's something I want to add to this our conversation. These times are not the times where, if you know your car has overheating problem, don't drive on that route.
Okay.
If you know your car has suspension issue, like those particular brand of Honda that we know the ball joint easily puts off, don't drive it on that road. These are not the times to just carry any kind of car and put on the road. If you know your shocks are not good, your knuckles are not good, your velocity are not good, don't say, "Oh, God help me, let me have this." It's not advisable.
Really?
Let's not pray about that one for miracle. If you know your fuel is not enough, your petrol is not enough to drive through this traffic, this slow pace, don't apply your car on me. Don't say, "God will help me." God will not help you, because this time you would spend more fuel, you would spend more time. Except and if you know your kick is not good enough, don't turn off your car. I will turn it back. Then you use the panel to go and eat kick. If you know if the battery is not good, don't apply the road. These roads. Start. You don't turn off your car and you want to put it on now. The car refuses to start. Nobody would want to open his bonnet to give you battery, because it will take time. People are hungry. So if you know your car is not in a good condition,
don't be on the road.
Say, God will help me. Allah will help me. It's a lie. Don't apply this road, this period. That's my appeal to drivers. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Now, it's interesting you made mention of that, because just last week I had a similar experience on this same Rumosi road. We had just gotten past the Rumosi junction where the traffic was obviously intense, and we were heading to Choba. All right. Now, just after the Uniport gate, the car started to stutter, started to jerk. And then the driver said, it be like say fuel when I just buy, it don't finish you. Hey, which kind of thing be this one? I just buy fuel from LMA. I just say come. I had the fuel. I won't just return, just come back. So I go carry passengers. Hey, which kind of nonsense? Hey, this fuel did not be good fuel. It don't finish. How much fuel did you buy? How much fuel did you buy? How much? Anyway, Clement says, Jude, good morning. How do you say there's no war in Nigeria? Are you aware that putting food on the table in Nigeria is a war? Well, yes, we know it's a challenge for everybody. But we're talking about a physical conflict where people, imagine a whole city having to evacuate. and yet they were evacuating in an orderly fashion. Orderly fashion. All right, I think Michael's the one that just called, because the message here says, I want to appeal to car owners who know their cars have suspension issues, overheating issues, insufficient fuel in their gas tanks to steer clear of such roads this period. Such cars aren't needed on that road. I know some things that happen spontaneously. Yes, I agree. I agree with that notion that people should be very careful when they drive on the road. If your car is not in its optimum level, I think it's great advice from Michael. Do not be on the road. Don't near it. Don't gamble, because if you gamble and obviously you don't pay up, you are going to be putting the other road users in a tighter space. The frustration increases. All right. Calvin here says, hi, G, good morning. I cannot tell you how many times I've been sat down in a vehicle and I felt like giving a knock on the head to these drivers. What exactly is the problem? If all of us wait in line and get to that small spot and we can move, it will waste no time as what they do. What they do is that they come out, they even get onto some roads that are not meant to be for driving. They get into some people's streets and then they come back at that point in a bit to be smart. He says, we are our own problems on these roads. Calvin, thank you very much. Rumasi, there is a place called Goat Market. I don't know how many of you know it, but there's a place called Goat Market, right? Obviously, they sell goods. Now, the other day when I was returning from my Bole exploration, I got to that point in the vehicle, and then the driver did exactly what Calvin just described. He veered off the main road, driving through walkways, pathways, all in a bit to get to that. I know the funny thing, the point at that road where you're meant to get through and you can go on your way has been blocked. No problem. They now start to force other vehicles who are on the road, who are trying to do the right thing, pushing them closer to the barricade. I'm not there right now, but I can bet my life that later on today, that what Calvin just described, someone is going to do it. And some of them are listening to us right now. Some of the taxi drivers, they're listening right now. Yes, let's agree with some of the callers who have said the road construction company, they haven't done a good job. Alternative routes are not great. They should have probably fixed them or patched them up or something. They should have probably widened the road. They should even, somebody suggested this, they should even stick their work routine or schedules to later hours. So from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m., that's when they should do a lot of the work. Then during the day, they should open up, the road so that more people can pass through, particularly as they haven't created alternative routes. That makes sense. That does make sense. But are we going to negate the actions of some drivers on the streets of Port Harcourt? 017-923-0002, 0817923-0007, 0817923-0002, 0817923-0007. At Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you'll find us on Facebook and on X. That's Twitter, former Twitter, by the way. At Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. The WhatsApp number is 0809 030 6416. 0809 030 6416. Some of you are still calling that number. We only receive messages on that number, please. If you have any message, you can send to that number. Once again, the number to send a message to is 0809 030 6416. Confidence sends us a message. It says, for the drivers, there are low mentalities, and that of the construction company there, There's a problem is that they have nonchalant attitudes to the road users. Confidence from Ozuzu Eche. All right. Confidence is laying blame in both sets. Good morning, Jude. The issue is that Nigerians haven't learned discipline. The government first is to be blamed for not enforcing simple laws like throwing trash on the road. Little things like this can instill discipline in people, as when the instruction is to maintain one line. Because of the discipline in them, they will obey the instruction. The people of Ukraine have already learned to obey government orders. By government, I'm also including the police, road safety, civil defense, etc. Christian Okoje with that message. All right. So, indiscipline is what Christian is labeling as the reason for these complaints. I can't help. Let's get back. Let's also to analyze some of the reasons, some of the words, some of the complaints from the drivers and the users of that road.
For coming here, it's a very difficult Sunday. The truck is much. What we are passing through is much. We have to add with the difficulty of the fuel and all the rest of things. Before we meet up, it is not easy for us. No alternative to enter Rumosi. The company would have provided alternative, even going to Rumosi. No way. So we are even wondering what will happen in this rainy season. The rainy season will be the worst. And even this one way is a risk. But there is nothing we can do. It's just to follow the one way for us to at least meet up small. Without the one way, we cannot meet up. And you cannot just come and increase transportation because of what we are passing through.
The road, stopping people hold up everywhere. The dust itself is even the worst. People are suffering, but they should try and hurry on so that people can be able to go where they want to go.
The road is busy, but the company have given us only 2 lanes to pass, which is the other one.
All right. So now, if you don't understand when someone said they're driving one way, from Obirikwere Bridge right down to Rumosi, because some of the drivers would want to stop at Rumosi, pick passengers, and just return to Rumokoro rather than going all the way to Choba, right? They now drive against traffic. So you see them at the bridge. When they get to the bridge, they take the lane that leads them away from Choba. They take that lane. That's what they call one-way driving, that you're driving against traffic. They take that lane and go all the way to the junction and then have their passengers disembark, and then they return to Rumokoro. Because if they go around, they're going to spend fuel, and then they're going to come back again. It's going to take another 20 minutes and, wasting time, yada, 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 yada. I don't know. Personally, I don't agree with that. But, my views here don't count. What does the law say? Emmanuel is on the line from our Buloma. Emmanuel, good morning to you, please. Welcome to Hello Port Harcourt. Good morning, Emmanuel.
Good morning.
Go on, please. Oh, dear. Drop call scenario. Mario, apologies for that. Not quite sure where we should lay the blame. It's here or is it at your end? Not quite sure. But anyway, you can get back to us. We're good to hear from you again, Emmanuel. Numbers to call: 08179230002, 08179230007. All right, Franklin on WhatsApp says, Jude, I blame the taxi drivers solely. Not all drivers act that way, but see, the taxi drivers are the major problem. You need to see that place at night, Jude. It's a war zone. Everybody's trying to get ahead. Everybody's trying to cut people, and they are always scratching people's cars at that junction every single day. This is not the fault of the construction company, although they should have made the roads wider or at least created another way for people to pass. But that small road is still wide enough for people to go through, yet the drivers still drive recklessly. I blame the drivers for the traffic, Franklin says. Blames the drivers. Wonder where the drivers are. They're pretty quiet this morning, drivers of Port Harcourt. 017-923-0002, 0817923-0007. Once again, 0817923-0002, 0817923-0007. At Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you will find us on Facebook and on X. At Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. WhatsApp is 0809 030 64 to blame, but also the police officers are also making things worse at that junction. You should go there sometimes. You see the police officers, rather than trying to control the traffic and make sure all the vehicles move, they are busy collecting money from the taxi drivers who still stop on the road to pick up passengers at that Rumosi junction. If you don't believe me, go there from 12 o'clock. You see how a lot of them are virtually working with the Agbaros to collect 50 and 100 naira from taxi drivers. It's the reason why the traffic is so bad. It's not just the drivers, but it is the security men as well. Oh, interestingly, as I'm reading that message, Tammy just says, where are the security operatives? Why can't they go there to ensure rather that drivers do the right thing? Now, wow. Well, Tammy, your guess is as good as anybody else's, because the message I just read is also indicting the policemen, the warders, the traffic warders. Anyway, there are a few months, for this to continue. And I think it's only advisable that people start to stick with the program. Do what you're meant to do. Respect the rules and regulations. A little patience, it's not going to kill anybody. It really isn't. Yes, I know the average taxi driver will go, no, if we not do one sharp, we will sleep for here. Yeah, I want wrong quick. Yeah, but in so doing, you are inconveniencing. That's the selfishness in all of this. You feel your journey is more important, so of more value than to the next. It's pretty sad. Clement says here, wrap up with this. Clement says they are quiet because the River State Task Force have not touched them yet. We don't want confrontations. We don't want to have another issue. But it will be good that please